In Rust, one of the easiest ways to get great gear is by killing your opponents, but sometimes this can be hard, especially if you don't want to sweat 24/7 on a server to have the best gear. Well, today I'm going to be showing you how to dominate your server by simply getting lucky. Okay, now it's not necessarily getting lucky because I found a way to basically break the gambling system in Rust. This technique will allow you to get unlimited amounts of scrap, and just like your hand sanitizer, it has a 99.9% success rate. So unless you're the unluckiest person in the world, this guide will help you get insane amounts of scrap in Rust. Now before we get into this method, I first want to break down the Rust gambling roulette wheel. You can find this wheel in a few safe areas, with one of the more known locations being at Bandit Camp. Here's what the wheel looks like. There are 25 total spaces split equally across the wheel. There are 12 yellow spaces, 6 green spaces, 4 blue spaces, 2 pink spaces, and finally 1 red space. So this is where I get a bit nerdy with math, but don't worry because this proves that this method really works. If we bet on the yellow space, then there's a 46% chance that we're right. And I know that you all probably aren't fans of math, so let's take a quick break and break down the exact method we want to use. To start, we want to take 5 scrap and bet it on yellow. If we win, great, we take our profits and we put in another 5. But if we lose, we double our last bet, so in this case, we would put in 10 scrap. We then basically repeat this process until we bet correctly. I would recommend starting with a 5 scrap bet if you're starting out with less than 1,000 scrap, but if you have more than that, then you can start raising that starting bet. The only condition you need to follow is that no matter what, if you lose, you double your bet and place it on yellow again. And I understand that this might not make too much sense, but here's the nerdy math explanation. So like I said earlier, there's a 46% chance that the wheel lands on yellow, and that leaves us with a 54% chance of failure. Since these events are independent, we can assume that the past spins don't determine the future spins. With probability, you can just multiply independent probabilities together to get the total probability of something happening. This is how I got the 99.9% success rate. So if you have 635 scrap to gamble with and you bet 5 scrap on yellow to start, then there's only a 0.1% chance that you lose all your scrap. And I know that most of you probably don't want to know the math behind this, so just go ahead and test it out for yourself. If you want more content on some of the most hyped games of the year, then be sure to like this video and subscribe so that you can stay up to date with all the content that we release. And if you enjoyed this video, then you're bound to like my guide on the Rust tips I wish I knew sooner, so be sure to check that out. Thanks so much for watching all the way through this video, and I'll see you all in the next one.